Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today, the first day is done. The first grinding for the Mageblood project is done, and oh boy, this is actually, yeah, it's a big project. And I wouldn't wonder if I'm sitting here for like 2 weeks straight and just like grinding maps and do whatever it takes to get this stupid belt. And it seems like we're doing not too bad, but I would say some things have changed, and that's why I want to go over this like kind of updates. I want to show you what did I found today, anything special, what was my farming routine, and so on, and what did change overall. The first thing that I want to mention is that I merged this like just what I found today. That's the dump tab more or less. You see the amount of maps and whatnot. It's kind of ridiculous just from like doing all content, right? So what I did, as you saw yesterday, I had like my Mageblood folder with like all the empty things over here, right? I did merge this actually with my private currency because, in the other hand, the thing is like after like grinding for like 2 or 3 hours, I constantly catched myself taking stuff out of my currency tab instead of the Mageblood currency tab. And then like I forgot to like use affinities on some, and then it was like mixed up, and I was like, dude, the thing is like if I would do like, let's say 60 simulacrums, and then I just have my investment, and here is my outcome, right? It's different this time because I'm just farming for currency, and obviously also my private currency will also be part of purchasing the Mageblood in the end, right? So that's why I said, you know what? I'm just gonna merge everything. It was not too much. I think it was 0 exalts and 9 chaos before I started the project, but it's still like quite a bunch of like fusings and jewelers and chromatics, and everything sums up, right? Especially like fragments and like breachstone scarabs. Obviously this is like from an entire day of farming mixed together now, right? But in the end I said, like, you know what, I'm gonna just subtract about 10 exalts worth of like bubblegum currency. I have no idea if it's more, if it's less, I don't know, but this is just like 10 exalts worth of like stuff that I found at some point, you know? So just gonna keep that in mind, that I subtract your 10 exalts. But in the end, after day one, before I go over the farming strategy that I did, I want to show you what I actually found. So I have your program, it's called Excellence Next, which basically tells you the stuff that you have in your selected folders. So if I check here my Mageblood project, I have here a bunch of like folders. There's like currency, fragments, divination, essences, fossils, blight, metamorph, and delirium, I think. These are the folders that get calculated in these tabs. So none of my cell tabs, none of my gems or guardians, like none of this gets calculated, especially none of this over here. And this is also like a big amount of currency, if you ask me. Just the pure amount of maps, the tainted stuff, like, I don't know. But in the other hand, once I price all of this stuff and sells, then it will sell at some point, and then we're gonna have more currency for tomorrow's farm. So even though we haven't farmed that much currency flat, we're still gonna add currency based on like the cells that we have, right? So this currency still exists, but it's not calculated in here. And it says that I have a net worth of around about 2,688 chaos right now, which is about 27.98 exalts, which I put in my list over here, minus the 10 that I said with like merging my private currency. But as I said, it was not like exalts and chaos, because like I say that I have 28 exalts total approximately in my stash, right? And if I check my currency tab, I have 3 exalts and 172 chaos. So a lot of people like, yo, where's the other 25 exalts, you know, that you're talking about? You know, and this is where all the bubblegum currency comes in, because obviously, like, over 1,000 jewelers is a couple chaos as well. The divine orbs is something. All the sextants, it's probably 40 chaos or something, right? The regrets is like 1 to 1. So there is hundreds of chaos somewhere in my stash tab, in the form of like scarabs and like fragments and like essences, fossils, like all that kind of things that matter. So yeah, I'm currently having 28 exalts, but only 3 flat and 172 chaos. Good, so this is the first part that I want to mention here with like merging the stuff and what is the current state of the art. So approximately in like, what did I farm today? Around about 8 hours. I made about 18 exalts, I would assume. So that would be around about 2.25 exalts an hour, which is about 186 chaos per hour. Is this a lot? I have no idea. Neither do I care. There's probably better strategies and whatnot, but the way I farm makes it very enjoyable, and this is all content. This is the next thing that I want to talk about, the how do I farm it, right? So I started off with maps. So as I said yesterday, I was putting away all my watchstones. I'm actually gonna do this right away. I just spawned Cyrus before, that's why I put it in, so I can actually kill Cyrus and Awaken Raid for the better loot, right? But my usual farming strategy would be only having the Watchstones in Lyra Arthane with my Breach and Heist encounter, right? So basically, I started with my maps. I had like round about 10 maps, but today was the first day where I actually finally started to put maps into my Blood Crucible. So while mapping in Lyra Arthane, always doing the league mechanic, I started to scourge my maps, and it feels like every single map I get 2 more scourged maps, right? Or like every second map, which is kind of insane because now I don't even have to run any maps anymore. It's just running scourged map. And after doing scourged maps, I feel like this is actually ridiculous. So I don't know, like I'm not like a min-maxer like any other content creator, you know. I'm just testing as I go, basically, right? And the way that I think is good is if I say I have something like this, additional incubator, is that good for me? Could be better. So I guess I'll just leave it in here and scourge it again, right? And this one, +1 scourged item, like, that's like a non-existing stat, so I'm gonna keep on scourging those items, right? But as soon as I get like some currency or scarabs, I just get it out and then just run it. And while doing that, I encountered that these maps are insane. And insane in the case of like, the amount of monsters that spawn there is absolutely ridiculous. The amount of currency that you get, just bonus to your normal map, is actually quite nice. And I'm gonna say, I don't know if I enjoy Heist more or actually Scourged maps. And Scourged maps, God, dude, there is so many monsters. I'm just gonna run one map here just as an example, the way I would normally run it, or the way I run it right now, which is basically just throw any like kind of like sextants on it. Doesn't really matter what it is. Basically, the only thing that I don't like is probably Chaos, because I'm not having Chaos res caps. So, and physical is something I don't take either because of the proximity shields, right? So I'm just gonna throw any sextants on, doesn't really matter. Then I usually take the Breach Scarab, since I'm running the Breach Atlas strategy, right? They are going for 1 Chaos, and that's why I decided to buy like 25 for 25C, just to see how it goes. And this is basically what I do. Now it's I think it's a Lyra Arthane, yeah. I throw in the Breach, I use the Breach, and then normally I use any like kind of like Atlas mission that I have on top, and that's pretty much how I run my maps. And before I forget, Lyra Arthane, do we have anything? Toxic Sewer, just quality it up. An Alk on it, Fizz Reflect, that should be fine. And now, I just want to have, every time I run a map, I always want to have my stuff in there, right? So now we're gonna run a map of this, like, very nice T1, Scourge, T2, whatever it goes, like, with breaches, with the breach stuff, you know, and you're gonna see how kinda incredible, ridiculous this gets. And this is the point where I say, like, if I want to get, like, the most out of these maps, besides these are, like, fucking rippy, I probably have to switch build, because even though my build is tanky, even though my build is fast and has good clear speed, I think it's not enough. I think for these maps, you need something like Ignite Proliferation. Oh, holy shit, dude, I was lagging, dude. I swear. I was lagging. I'm probably gonna see that in the video if you slow it down. It's like, it's a millisecond delay there, so yeah, normally I would dodge that. Anyway, so I think this build is good, and I think it's fast, but I think it's not gonna be enough. Like, if you really want to go the maximum out of your Scourged maps, you just need a build that has, like, 400% movement speed, clears, like, multiple screens ahead, and this is something that this build cannot deliver, and you're gonna see it in a second, probably. So, now we just gonna open the Scourge here, and gonna try to get our way through here. And then there's Breach. We're gonna keep the... Well, actually, it's actually stupid that I have now a Toxic Sewer map, because Breach in Toxic Sewer is not really the best showcase, if I'm honest to you. Because I think you lose a lot of monsters in density because of these tunnels here, right? But in the other hand, it's better for other encounters, for example, like Blight mechanic. Blight is, like, perfect for the Toxic Sewers, just become all the monsters come from one direction. So, Breach has another, like, very good taste to it, because every time you open a Breach, you're gonna get, like, almost full, or more than full of your Nightmare stuff, right? So that means you can stay a lot longer in the Nightmare realm if you're able to tank it, if you're able to survive it, because, dude, I've been multiple times to over 200 stacks today, and it becomes quite ridiculous at some part. You just, even though I think I have, like, a very tanky build, I mean, come on, I have 2.5k life, right? That's tanky for me, at least. you still just randomly get like completely penetrated from all sides. It's disgusting. But on the other hand, it's like very, very strong, and the maps actually last quite a while, I gotta say. Usually, the way I like mapping is I throw in like Alk and go, I go in, like kill the boss, do like a leak mechanic or something, and that's pretty much it, right? The way you're gonna play the maps right now makes it like a lot more valuable to throw a sextant on it, just because you're gonna see the wall in these maps. First of all, you have the normal map to run, then you have like breaches to do, then you have like other map Atlas missions to do, right? I had like maps where I had legions, I had Alva, I had like expedition, there was also ritual, there was like the nightmare realm, there was the normal map, there was like so many things where I'm like, dude, I'm spending like 10 minutes in one map, and it is still only soaking up one sextant modifier. So it's definitely becoming more and more value the more loaded the maps are. Oh shit, that was actually a very bad idea, because now I opened the breach, but as soon as the timer is done, then I'm gonna get sent back, and then I'm gonna lose probably on some monsters, but it's still faster. Well, I haven't lost too much. But it's kind of like a little bit sad. It's I was about to say like the showcase map, right? The showcase map is always a little bit more terrible than the actual farming, but as you see, the monsters, the maps are so freaking filled, it's insane. And this is actually a very bad example in my opinion, dude. I had maps today, I couldn't even see the floor anymore because there was so many monsters. And that's the reason why I think that this build might actually not be that great, even though it survives and it does most of the job. But if I think like I do an entire breach, but I'm too slow killing, means that with another build I could have killed more monsters in the same amount of time, because the monsters are there. They're just gonna despawn after some time, right? And this also comes into the nightmare realm, when you just kill monsters, and you know you're kind of done with the map, but there is still a part of the map uncovered. These monsters are there, you know, you just need to run there and kill them. And that's why I say like you need a super fast build, but this is only if you are willing to go for these Scourge modifiers. But this like needs an, I don't know, like I'm thinking about a couple of builds, but I'm not entirely sure what that build would look like, because not only do you need like an insane amount of defense, you also need like the speed, everything, you know. So, but for heisting, the build is doing a good job, I would say. I've done like maybe like 50 contracts today. I died in like a few, but this is like, yeah, unlucky modifiers and stuff, because I just all can go them, and sometimes they can be very rippy. Jeez. Actually, it's a bit sad that I actually choose a Toxic Sewer for this showcase, just because I know how other maps look like. But hey, if I tell you these maps are freaking overloaded with monsters, they are. Trust me on that. And if you don't trust me, then find it out yourself. You can just Scourge your maps, because it's no cost. You know, like this is the next thing. There is no initial cost in like Scourging your maps. You're gonna find maps either way, and if you Scourge them or not doesn't cost you anything. And like almost every single map you can Scourge another one, right? So it's literally printing currency without any investment. Obviously you can juice your maps up with sextants, with like watchstone modifiers, but you don't have to, and I'm not using any modifiers either. Good, are we soon done with this map? Because I don't even know what to talk about any further, and we are still going in the map. Are we getting more incubators? But I'm not gonna open another map now. Oh. But as I said, like, these things could be very nice. I personally think once you start the Scourge maps, they are getting kind of addicted. And I think, since I'm a mapping kind of guy, I really enjoy this mechanic. Like, I wasn't too sure about the start. That's why I even said, like, I'm gonna go with, like, heists or something, right? But now, after exploring those Scourge maps for myself, I'm like, I love this shit, you know? It's just a bit frustrating, so always make sure if you run high amount of Scourge maps that you always have your Cast on Death portal setup prepared. In my opinion, one of the strongest double links that you can have. And you should be fine to go, because you don't want to lose any time, right? So, good. As you see, map is done. I can Scourge the next map. Now we get 2 additional Scourged items. That's even worse, so we're gonna keep it in there and go for like more. But as you saw, like, it takes quite a while to get those maps going, and I think just from the raw currency that we get out of it, it's actually quite nice. And there was actually a very bad example. So it's like, do I want to do heist? Do I want to do Scourged? And the answer is, I don't know. Maybe. I think like I'm just gonna keep on doing what I did today, which is like just trying to do all content. I also was in heist for like in Delph. like the Delve is getting boosted, right? Or did get boosted this league. There is like so many more Delve cities, and it's just so much currency. Like I could say, probably over half of the maps over here, like everything beside on the left side here, all these maps were all from one go into the Delve, which is kind of insane with the boosted up strategies over here, at least the spawn rates of the cities and all these kind of things, you know, it's gonna get better and better. So there is so much content that provides currency for no initial cost, because Delve, I'm not using scarabs or something, I'm just using my Atlas missions, right? And I think like I'm just gonna keep on going and keep you guys updated, but it might be at some part that I'm going to switch build. It's just not sure which build would be able to do like insane amounts of like Scourge content, and if it's actually profitable, because heist is also very nice. Like I was doing the last 2 hours or so, I was heisting and I got like probably 5, 6, 7 exalts out of like all kinds of sources, and I haven't even started blueprints. And now since I started to gear up my rogues, I think there is only 2 rogues left that are not geared yet, so I'm still leveling them, and then I'm gonna jump into blueprints, and that's gonna be even better. So I'm looking forward. But after the first day, I would say sitting on a 30x somewhere, you know, it's looking good. Let me check the prices of the Mageblood belt. Yesterday was like 175, so now we're looking at 145. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. I'm making currency and the item that I want to have is getting cheaper. Isn't that great? But hey, obviously tomorrow shit gonna be 250x, I guess. So I think it's also gonna be a valuable information to just compare the prices every single day, so you know when to buy it. You know, if it's going to be 150 once I have the currency, I would be fair to buy it, right? But if I know that they are like, could be like plus minus 50 exalts every single day, and they are currently at 210 exalts, then maybe just wait a day and until there is more in the market, because everybody of those wants to have their currency. So I guess like the next guy with 160 will be like, oh shit, it's dropping, I'm gonna put mine for 140, and this is the point where you have to like snack it and get your stuff going. Good. A lot of talking, a lot of everything, but yeah, that's my videos, right? Long videos with like literally no information. But hey, some people liked it, I guess. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.